Hey there, friends, and welcome to episode 270 of Just the Zoo of Us. This week I'm joined by an ecologist and wildlife photographer with an eye for a real small wonder, the Hazel Dormouse. This extra cozy episode pairs really well with curling up in a soft, comfy nest as we discuss things like fluffy tails and treetop snoozing, charming little forest bridges, exploding nests, the joy of finding beauty in your own backyard, and so much more. If you want to play a fun game along with this episode, try to count how many times we say the words cute or adorable. I don't know how many it is because I lost count, but I bet it's a lot. Just the Zoo of Us presents Hazel Dormouse with Holly Daniels. Hello, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford with Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where this week I'm very excited to be talking about just like a stunningly adorable little creature that I'm so excited to learn more about. We have a brand new friend this week. This is Holly Daniels. Say hi, Holly.
Hi. It's lovely to be here.
Holly, what are your pronouns real quick?
My pronouns are she, her.
Thank you so much. And before we talk about our adorable little critter this week, let's talk about you. Holly, what has your path alongside these amazing animals been like? What has this journey into the world of nature been like for you?
It has been super fun. So it actually started with the Hazel Dormouse, which is very on brand. So I saw a picture of these guys on Facebook for my local country estate, and I was like, I wonder if they will let me come along on a survey and see one, because I thought they were super cute. And I sent them an email and they were like, yeah, sure, come along. And so then I came on a survey, and then they were like, do you want to do a bat survey? And I was like, yeah, I'll do that as well. And since then I've just been all into nature and wildlife, and I do quite a lot of photography now as well.
I really think that speaks to the power of just asking. You know, we get so caught up in our heads about, oh, I don't know if I'm the right person for this. I don't know if I should ask. Just ask. You never know. Sometimes if you just ask, it can change your whole world.
Yeah, it really did. I don't know what came over me. I'm not normally that confident. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just send this email. But yeah, it really did.
The blessing of extroversion that every once in a while, it visits you at its own will, not at yours. You cannot summon the spirit of extroversion. It chooses you. You do not choose it. But sometimes it grants you powers. And I want to talk a little bit more about your photography, because this is something that, you know, you've posted a lot about online, and something before we hopped on this recording, I was looking at your website at some of your just breathtaking photos. Could you talk to us a little bit about how you got into wildlife photography?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thank you for stalking my Instagram and my website. So I started photography in the pandemic. I had a camera, and every so often I'd go out. And then during the pandemic, obviously everyone had loads of time. And so I was like, maybe I should learn to use the settings on this. So I watched a few YouTube videos, and then I started taking pictures in our garden, essentially. And then it just spiraled. And then I was like, this is amazing. I just get to look at cute things, and then I get to take a picture of them. And yeah, it's spiraled since then. And I do mainly macro wildlife photography, which just means close up. Most people associate it with insects, but I also like to do reptiles and, of course, mammals like the little dormice as well, and bats.
It's a good reminder that, because we think about nature photography, I usually think about people trekking off into a national park, you know, traveling all over the world to get these sweeping landscapes and stuff. But it's a good reminder that the beauty of nature it's right there. It's already in your yard, probably. You just gotta get real close, but it's down there. It's down there. You just gotta zoom in.
Yeah, you've just got to kind of pause and look around is what I kind of do. Because if I just look outside through my window, I'm like, oh, there's nothing going on outside. But if you kind of go outside and look at individual plants and stuff, then you start spotting things and you're like, oh my God, there's wildlife everywhere.
And one such wildlife that you might come across if you were extremely lucky and look real, real close is our animal for this week that I have to admit, I would venture to say I've never heard of, because I feel like dormouse is like a special term. Like I've heard of like mice, but I don't know if I can tell you what a dormouse is. So Holly, what is a Hazel Dormouse?
So Hazel Dormice, they are very similar to mice. However, they're actually in a different family. So they're not related to mice, which is really interesting. We in the UK call them Hazel Dormice. But there is a few other types, and they're basically native to Central Europe. There's also one called, they've all kind of got unfortunate names. There's a fat dormouse that lives in Central Europe, which is essentially, it's just a bit bigger than a Hazel Dormouse.
Well, come on. How come the Hazel Dormouse got like the cutest, most whimsical, like Studio Ghibli Beatrix Potter name, and then they're like the one that is like slightly bigger, they're like, that's the fat one.
I know, it's unfortunate, isn't it? And then there's one as well called the edible dormouse, which is just really sad. Because, and I was like, that's a bit strange, and I looked it up, and it's because the Romans used to eat them, and it's like, what were they doing?
That would also make me wonder, why are these the edible ones, and like what makes them particularly edible to earn the name? Like, is there anything stopping you from eating the other ones? I would think the fat dormice would be a good contestant for being eaten.
I know. Also, I wouldn't think there was much there to eat, if I'm honest. They're not that big.
That's true. Where's the protein on this thing?
Yeah, what are they doing? I don't know. Very strange Romans, weren't they, really?
And I would say that's one of the least weird things they did. So honestly, It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's probably not that bad, is it, really? In the grand scheme of their lives.
You mentioned that there are quite a few different species of dormice. Is the little Hazel Dormouse, is it particularly different from the other ones, or is it kind of like a good representative of the group?
So the Hazel Dormouse is actually the only dormouse that we're meant to have in the UK here. We do have a couple of edible dormice in a small part of the country that basically a Victorian was like, these would be fun if I put them in my garden, and he released those ones. But the Hazel Dormouse is the only one that's actually native to the UK. And in terms of these ones are, I would argue they're the cutest ones. They're a little golden brown, and they're about 6 to 9 centimeters in length, and they weigh less than 40 grams, and they're just really cute.
Now, I have Googled a picture of the edible dormouse. It's a pretty cute little thing. They're pretty cute. You know what they kind of look like weirdly to me? They look like a possum, but not the American opossum. They look like the Australian possums, but maybe like really tiny versions of those.
They kind of do, don't they? Yeah, they've got the same kind of face as the cute ones you see in Australia.
Yeah, and now that's not to say that our American opossums are not cute. I think, well, there's flattering angles for them, and there's not so flattering angles. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Maybe sometimes they look a little bit better than other times, but I am looking at these dormice, and I'm noticing that as opposed, because you mentioned that they're not closely related to mice, like the, what do you call it, mus musculus, right? Like the mouse. And I'm noticing right away a tail difference, because a lot of people tell me, you know, having worked in a pet store and had pet rats and stuff, a very, very common way that people would balk at like a mouse or a rat would be, people would say, well, I don't like the bald tails. I don't like that the tails are bald. They don't have any fur on them. The dormouse is solving this problem, I feel like.
It is, yeah. So they say that this is the only British mammal with a furry tail. I would say that the squirrels have furry tails, but apparently it's the Hazel Dormouse that only have the furry tail. And this is really how you can tell if you see a Hazel Dormouse compared to every other type of mouse that we have. People phone up and they're like, I've seen a Hazel Dormouse, and people are like, does it have a furry tail? And they're like, no. And it's like, well, you haven't seen one then. But yeah, they have a very fluffy tail that is almost the same length as their body, and they kind of wrap it around themselves when they sleep, which is adorable completely.
I'm looking at Google images of Hazel Dormouse right now, and there's not a single bad picture of them. It's every angle, every possible photo. They're always cute 24/7. You cannot catch them slipping. They're like, I don't know how they do it.
I know, I don't know what would a bad angle look like for them because, yeah, you're right. Every shot of them is just cute and they have cute eyes and they just sleep and it's very cute all around.
They're 100% cute. I feel like their metabolism is just like firing on all cylinders on cute production. We got to crank out as much cute as we can. If this is anyone's first time listening to this particular podcast, what we do is we rate animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics. So the first category is effectiveness. These are physical adaptations, things built into the animal's body that let it do a good job of the things it's trying to do. Whether this is maybe how they can find and capture their food or how they don't become food themselves, things built into their body. Holly, what do you give Hazel Dormouse out of 10 for effectiveness?
Ooh, for effectiveness. Well, they spend a lot of their lives asleep, and you've got to give it to them. They're pretty good at it. So they spend about 70% of the year asleep on average.
God, I wish that were me. Oh, that's awesome. I would love to figure out how to divert like way more of my body functions to sleeping. I would love to maybe reprioritize some of my functions for sleeping.
Sorry, I said that wrong. I think it's 7 months of the year, not 70%.
I mean, that's still a good chunk of the year.
I mean, yeah. A lot of the year basically is spent asleep.
The picture that I saw on your website that you had taken, they are not just asleep, but they are curled up into a perfect little circle, like just a little Ouroboros of a critter. It's really great. I'm a big fan of their sleeping.
Yeah, so that is called torpor. So they hibernate over the winter, and they also, every time that the weather is bad or the temperature drops too low, they go into like a mini hibernation called torpor, which they're very effective at. So I'd say at least a 7 on effectiveness at sleeping. But yeah, they do that every time the conditions aren't right, so then they can just rest essentially, and then they wake up again when it's warmer and they go and find food. So they're very effective at that.
And this also seems really surprising to me for such a small creature to do this, because when I think like small creatures with these really high metabolisms, like small mammals, I usually think of as being like very fast metabolism, very high energetic needs. And I guess it surprises me that they are able to spend so much of their time at rest.
I mean, yeah, I think they go to sleep and then all the other waking hours are spent looking for things to eat. So I don't know if they have much time for anything else, but everything they do is very cute. You've got to give it to them. They eat mainly hazelnuts, as the name suggests.
Oh, okay. That's a good name for them then.
Yeah.
That's so cute. And I love hazelnuts too. And hazelnuts are like the cutest nut. So like everything about them,
it's just very cute.
They're so highly invested into being cute. They're like, I'm even going to eat the cutest thing I could possibly eat.
Yeah, they eat hazelnuts is mainly what they eat. And you can actually tell if a hazelnut's been eaten by a dormouse because it leaves like a perfect circle and tiny little bite marks in it. Which is
God, of course
adorable.
It does.
Yeah. Like, of course it does.
Of course it does. Of course it leaves behind a picturesque little like cartoon like hole behind in the hazelnut. This is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
It looks like in a lot of these pictures, it looks like they're spending a lot of time high up because you mentioned they eat hazelnuts. Hazelnuts typically being found, high up in a tree. Is that where they're spending most of their time?
So Hazel Dormouse are both arboreal, which basically means they don't come down to the ground, and they're also nocturnal, which means they're very tricky to spot because they're always in the trees and they're always out at night time. So it doesn't help them be seen, but essentially they live in hazel coppice trees, kind of where all the roots and the bottom of the tree is kind of condensed and there's loads of leaves pile up. They'll build their nests in there. In natural habitats, and then they don't ever really touch the ground if they can help it.
there's a picture on the Wikipedia article of one carrying a baby around on the forest floor. And that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. But another thing about like small critters living high up in trees is that a lot of times that like small size can make them pretty good at dealing with fall damage. Is that something they have to worry about very often?
It's funny you should mention that, because on the last Dormouse survey that I attended, one did escape and we watched it climb this tree, and then it kind of fell out the tree essentially, and we were all kind of shocked for a second. We were like, oh my god, it's the end, oh my goodness. And then it just kind of got up and ran back up the tree again, and we were like, oh. So yeah, they must be, I mean, I don't think they fall out very often. You'd hope they wouldn't fall out very often, but we did see one drop quite a few meters and it seemed fine. So yeah.
I feel like that's a good point for their physical effectiveness, right? Because like if they do fall out of the tree, they're fine. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's an inconvenience. I'm sure it's annoying and quite frustrating to the dormouse, because can you imagine like you're driving to work and then all of a sudden, like right when you get to your office, all of a sudden your car just like falls back to your house and you have to start your whole commute over again?
Yeah. It can't be useful, can it?
I'm wondering if like part of what we're finding so adorable about them is those big giant eyes, because when I think nocturnal mammal at least, I think big giant eyes, and that seems to be kind of what they're working with here.
Yeah, they definitely, in proportion to the rest of the head, they're definitely bigger than, well, I wouldn't say what is necessary because they clearly need them, but in terms of their face, they're massive, kind of Disney-like.
Maybe almost more than is necessary, because maybe they were just like, oh no, we want to be a little cuter. We really want to test well with the young kid demographic. We want to really up the sort of kawaii factor.
Yeah, they've definitely got it nailed, I would say.
You also mentioned that they're nocturnal and they spend a lot of times high up in trees, making them difficult to find and to see. Was that something that was an obstacle to you photographing them?
Oh, so this is cheating, well, it's not cheating, but all of my pictures were taken on dormouse surveys. So actually, they're quite endangered here in the UK. And so what big country estates and forest management people do is they put up what looks like a backwards bird box. So the hole is at the back, and then they put them on trees, and then the dormice climb up and they build nests in there. And so every month during the warmer seasons, we go around and we check the boxes to see if there's dormice in there. And so all of my pictures were taken that way. And so it's essentially so we can monitor different populations of them.
Well, that sounds like a really fun job to have, doesn't it? You get to just go peek on the little guys as they're snoozing.
It is a very, very cute day of the month, I must admit. I'm just like, oh yes, Hazel Dormouse Day is upon us.
You mentioned that they are of conservation concern. What's going on here? Are there some threats that the Hazel Dormice are facing?
Yeah, so they are a very protected species here in the UK, so you need a license actually to go about these surveys, and you have to complete a lot of training to get it, which it took me 3 years to complete all the training for it.
Wow.
So I am now licensed in dormice, which is, it's a bit like James Bondy. I'm like, yeah, I've got a license in dormice. Come on now.
Do you get to like carry a little badge around that like when you're doing dormice surveys, you get to like get the little badge out like, oh no, it's me, Holly Daniels, Dormouse agent?
I feel like I should. I feel like I should have like a card or something that says it.
Dormouse inspector, perhaps.
But yeah, their population is not doing well because they live in the trees and they're arboreal and they don't really touch the ground. It means that any habitat loss where areas get cut off from other areas means that the populations become isolated, and then they can't really, the gene pool kind of gets smaller because they can't travel anywhere. So then they kind of get stuck and their populations go down. There's a lot of work to fix this in that people are planting new woodlands all the time. But this next bit, and I think you're going to find this very, very cute because it's so on brand for them. But in certain areas of the UK, they've started building dormice bridges, which connect habitats across motorways and things, which is adorable.
That is great. Extremely whimsical, extremely like fairy tale. Like, oh, this is our mouse bridge. This is the little bridge that we built for our mice. And also reminds me of something that has been going on a lot in my home state of Florida. They've been building wildlife corridors for very similar, probably elsewhere too. That's just where I'm most familiar with it happening. Like for the same reason, right? Like bridging the gaps between habitats that have been fragmented.
Yeah, they're basically wildlife bridges or corridors. That's what they're building. But they're specific ones for dormice, which is adorable.
I can't help but imagine the little guy with like the like Little Red Riding Hood sort of cape and like a picnic basket for their grandmother, and they're just like skipping across this little cobblestone bridge, and they're like, oh, I'm off on a journey to go to these far off lands. Like, you can't help but just assume the most whimsical.
Yeah, they're off on their little adventures all the time, and it's adorable.
It's so Shire. They're so Shire coded. You know what I mean? Like, they're Hobbit adjacent. They're giving Hobbit, I feel like.
Yeah, they definitely belong in that type of Hobbit Narnia land, don't they?
Hi there. We are going to take a quick break to hear from a couple of our friends on the Maximum Fun Network. When we get back, we are rating ingenuity and aesthetics for Hazel Dormouse, so stick around.
Have you been looking for a new podcast all about nerdy pop culture? Well, I have just the thing for you. Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries.
Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries is a weekly pop culture history podcast hosted by me, host Alston.
And me, host Brenda. We've already tackled mysteries such as what happened to the puppets from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Is Snoopy Mexican? And why do people hate Barney so much?
From theme parks to cartoons to 80s, 90s, and 2000s nostalgia, we tackle it all.
Check us out every Tuesday on MaximumFun.org and wherever you get podcasts.
One thing we all have in common, we all have a mind.
It makes me so scared because I'm like, when is the bad thing going to happen?
And minds can be kind of unpredictable and eccentric.
Everybody wants to hear that they're not alone. Everybody wants to hear that someone else has those same thoughts.
Depeche Mode with John Moe is about how interesting minds intersect with the lives and work of the people who have them. Comedians, authors, experts, all sorts of folks trying to make sense of their world.
It's not admitting something bad if you say, this is scary.
Depeche Mode with John Moe, every Monday at MaximumFun.org or wherever you get podcasts.
So the next category that we rate animals on is ingenuity, which are behaviors, things that they're doing, maybe ways that they get around their world, navigate, solve problems that they face, things like that. Holly, what do you give Hazel Dormouse for ingenuity?
I mean, I don't know how ingenious they actually are, because I feel like they take the easy routes. They sleep and they eat and they look cute. So I'm not entirely convinced there's much going on behind their cuteness, if I'm being honest.
You know, lots of sort of cranial real estate being dedicated to those big giant cartoon character eyes. Not a lot of room left over for brain. So I guess that's maybe a trade-off.
Yeah, I think they've definitely traded something there. So maybe a 5. I think that might be a bit harsh.
We could generously leave room for the possibility that what if they're just like playing 4D chess and doing like galaxy brain calculus in their dreams? Like, that's a lot of time in REM sleep. Maybe they've got something sophisticated going on in there.
Yeah, they're secretly planning something, and it's just coming together so slowly that we don't realize.
They're biding their time. They're like, just you wait, just you wait. Also, I would give them credit for spending all of their time doing my 2 favorite things, which are sleeping and eating. Like, I feel like if you've really narrowed down your lifestyle into like the 2 greatest joys in life, and just, that's efficiency. I feel like you've really trimmed the fat from life.
Yeah, I mean, I would be rather doing that than going to work. So you've got to give it to them for that one, haven't you, really?
They don't pay rent. You think I was about to say, do you think the bills keep them up at night? But I don't think anything keeps them up at night.
I mean, and they managed to, even though their population's declining, they managed to get it so that people are building them houses to live in as well. We think we're surveying them and it's like a task for them, but actually they come across these little boxes that they can live in for free and they're like, oh my goodness, it's perfect.
I didn't have to do anything. They did all this for me. Oh no, have we been domesticated?
Yeah.
See, they've figured out the true evolutionary pro strategy, which is if you can be really, really cute, humans will do anything for you. They will bend over backwards. Humans will do so much of the heavy lifting for you.
But yeah, they've got it nailed.
They've kind of min-maxed their effort to enjoyment sort of lifestyle. They're like, I will get maximum yield for minimum input. I'm only doing the fun stuff. Have you ever encountered, like on any surveys or anything like that? I know you're not exactly catching them at their best hour, right? I feel like if someone suddenly peered into my bedroom in the middle of the night, they wouldn't be getting my best. But I'm wondering if either you've ever seen or you've ever heard of a dormouse doing something that like really surprised you or really caught you off guard, made you go like, huh, that's interesting.
Yes. So I'm not sure if it was this spring or the spring before that, but we did usually what they're meant to do is they go in these boxes and they build themselves very cute straw nests that are about the same size as a tennis ball. One year I opened a box and we all kind of stopped and we were like, oh no, there's a dead one in here, because it was, you know, when dogs kind of get so relaxed that they kind of roll over on their back and they've got their legs in the air. That's what it looked like, and we were like, oh no, this is so sad. And then we were like, wait a minute, it's just sleeping. And it was just this really fat looking dormouse that clearly had a very good night and had not bothered building a nest. And so it had just gone into this box and like laid down on its back and fallen asleep. But that was definitely an unusual sight.
I know that dormouse was blissed out. Listen, we just had Thanksgiving here stateside, and I think a lot of people are extremely familiar with the food coma nap.
Yeah, it had an amazing night and just gone the next day.
Now, let's talk babies. I mean, are they good parents? Do they like take care of their babies, or are the babies just kind of on their own?
Their babies are born completely like hairless and blind, and they live in a little nest with the mums. They get fur on like the 12th day.
Oh, so they really have to grow into it then. They're not born.
Yeah, no, they're not born cute. They're
not born with it.
They kind of look like jelly babies when they're born, and it's just like, and then they grow into the cuteness after about 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, it's a glow up.
Yeah, it's a process.
Are they good parents?
Yeah, they usually are. They look after their little babies as well as I guess you could do if you live in the forest. They usually have like a single litter of like 4 to 5, and I've never come across one where any of them have like died, so they're usually all alive when you find them. And we actually call it like an exploding nest because the little babies kind of shoot everywhere because they're kind of like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's quite fun. But yeah, the mum is always trying to protect them.
Oh, well, good for her. I mean, she's so little, she ain't got room for that many.
Yeah, it's quite impressive, really, isn't it?
Are they up against very much? I feel like maybe they've got some predators to watch out for.
So any kind of bird of prey, like owls here, would take one if they had the opportunity.
Oh, if you're nocturnal and you're arboreal, you're fully in owl territory. You're like in their zone.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Stay away from owls is the advice really there, isn't it? Sometimes lots of people have pet cats, and pet cats, if they came across one, would take one as well.
Listen, Dormice, I know you're listening. Don't be out at night. It's dangerous out there, y'all. Y'all start coming out in the daytime so that we can see you and take cute pictures of you. Yeah. Shift your whole lifestyle. Come into our time.
Change everything and you'll be safer.
Have you tried daytime? We love it up here. You'd love it. Y'all should try it. It's nice. Now, okay. So we have probably shown our hand a little bit with the last category that we rate animals on, but I really feel like this is where the Dormouse shines. This is where they're bringing it home. This is aesthetics. It's just how nice the animal is to look at, whether that's cute, cool, beautiful, whatever you think of this animal. Holly, what do you give Hazel Dormouse out of 10 for aesthetics?
I mean, it's got to be at least 10, hasn't it? Like, if 11.
I can't think of an improvement that could possibly be made.
You just see them and you're just like, that is the cutest thing that's ever been.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing and I can't think of a single change I would make cuteness wise. Everything is like perfectly proportioned. Everything is just exactly what you want it to be. Even like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are not super into, the bald tail of a mouse or a rat. And this is really, really has that base covered because it's got the furry tail too. So like it really has it all.
Yeah, they're really covering every base there, aren't they? They've just been like max out on cuteness on all angles.
Even like the color of their fur, it's such like a warm and cozy, like fall toned, like it's not just brown, like how like a mouse would be like brown. It's like a chestnut, warm, cute brown.
Yeah, like a cute sandy, golden-y color.
I don't know how they do it. And I don't know what it is about the human brain that sees this creature and is like, well, I love that.
It's something, isn't it? It's like, oh, I just can't. Every single picture, you're just like, it's the cutest thing that I've ever seen.
I've heard that like the human reaction to finding things cute it's because of our instinct to find human babies cute, because like we need to find human babies cute in order to like have an instinct to like protect them and take care of them. So when we see an animal that just happens to have features like large eyes and a large forehead and a small nose and mouth, like there are certain visual cues that tell our brain like this has the proportions of a human baby. Therefore, we need to love this. Like we should want to protect and like take care of this. I feel like a lot of animals have just really leaned into that. I mean, obviously not like intentionally, because they were certainly like this long before humans were around. But like, I think it works out in the animal's favor because like you mentioned, humans have started building little bridges and houses for them. So it really works out in their favor.
Yeah, it has really helped them out, hasn't it?
I do wonder, are there like animals in their habitats, like animals that you've come across on your surveys, animals in the UK that maybe aren't benefiting from the cuteness factor? Because you could use the Hazel Dormouse as kind of like, the flagship, like the face of the operation. But I'm wondering if maybe there's some other not as cute critters around that could use the spotlight too.
Yeah, that's what I sneakily do that with a lot of my photography. People are like, oh, you're a wildlife photographer. And I'm like, yeah, look at this cute picture of a Hazel Dormouse. And then they're like, oh, that's so cute. Do you have any more pictures? And I'm like, yeah, look at this picture of a snake.
Oh, you got Trojan horsed.
Yeah. I'm like, look at this picture of a bat next. I'm really selling it to these people. I'm like, well, and then look at this insect.
Like, I promise they're cute too. But like, like you said, things like wildlife corridors, right? Like bridging the gaps between the habitats. I mean, yes, maybe it's like motivated because people want to take care and protect like these adorable, cute little furry things. But, a rising tide lifts all ships. I'm sure it's not just helping them.
Yeah, I mean, everything can use, it's not like they have a little border at each side of the corridor where they're like, no, you're not a dormouse, you can't come through. So, I mean, they must help everything that kind of comes that way.
Can you imagine a little bouncer at the bridge that's like got one of these little Wikipedia photos of a Hazel Dormouse, and everything that tries to cross over, it just holds the picture up. It's like, I don't know. They got to have a little ID.
Yeah, you look a bit suspicious. I'm not convinced you're a dormouse. Do you have the furry tail? Can I see that?
I'm going to need to see some tail, sir. That would be an unfortunate line to take out of context.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Well, as a photographer and someone who really gets up close and personal with these, not just these creatures, but like also your local wildlife, what have been your favorite moments of finding beauty in your local UK wildlife?
I just love every minute, really. I just love being outside, and it's just really lovely because a lot of people think that British wildlife is boring, and there's not much here because we don't have tigers, we don't have elephants, we don't have anything massive like that. We don't really, but I think there's something nice in that here we can just go into the forest and there's nothing that will kill us essentially, or even could hurt us. Nobody's going to get trampled by a Hazel Dormouse anytime soon. And so I think it's really lovely that we can go out and we can appreciate all the wildlife that we have here, because there's so much that it's small, and might not be as impressive traditionally as other countries, but there's something really cute and lovable about that.
I will say, okay, I just had this conversation with Ella McLeod, who is from the podcast Comfort Creatures, and we were talking about like appreciating our own local urban wildlife. And Ella is from the UK also, and Ella mentioned something that really occurred to me is an animal that maybe y'all can take for granted, and that is foxes. Foxes are not like an everyday thing here. I would lose my mind if I saw a fox. I would be so excited. And Ella was like, yeah, we see them all the time.
Yeah, they just walk around any city. To be honest, it's actually quite strange because you go in the countryside and you don't really see them. But anytime you go into a big city and they're just like walking around during the day and you're just like, oh, that's a fox going past there.
I would lose it. I would fully lose it. I would be like, are you guys seeing this? Am I hallucinating? And I think that's something that maybe if you see it a lot, maybe it's something that doesn't really catch your attention, but I think it's something to be proud of. Also, you guys have the cuter badger between the two of us. Our badgers, ours are a little scrungly.
I didn't know that.
Have you seen American badgers?
I'm going to have to Google what an American badger looks like.
Look up American badger real quick.
I saw a badger the other week. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now.
Ours are a little scrungly.
They kind of look chunky. Like I'd be scared that it was going to run at me if I saw one of those.
Well, they will. They absolutely will. They're very mean.
Yeah, so I saw one of our badgers it was on a university campus, and it was just eating an apple under a tree, and it was a cute scene.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
What is this whimsical fairy tale island you live on? Do you live in like a Ghibli movie or something? This is crazy.
It's just getting cuter by the second, isn't it? Yeah.
You've got a badger eating an apple under a tree. Up ahead, there's probably a little dormouse with a hazelnut chewing a little circle in it. Are y'all's badgers mean?
I didn't think them. I've never come across a mean one.
Ours are like notoriously quite feisty. Like you want to give them a wide berth. Ours are a little gnarly.
I mean, I don't think I'd try not to like go towards one of ours. But it's not going to come towards us. They usually run away from you.
Yeah, I think that's usually the protocol. I will, go on and on about, oh yeah, badgers are, they're gnarly and stuff like that. But not too long ago, I was at a zoo that had an American badger in it. And this badger was really chill and seemed really interested in all the people walking by. And I'll be honest, that was the cutest thing I saw all day. I think maybe it's a photogenic problem. Maybe they don't look very flattering in photos, but this thing was pretty stinking cute.
Yeah, maybe they're not like the dormouse. They can't be hit at all angles by a camera. There's just one angle that will work for them. And it's just an unfortunate publishing thing that
It's a marketing issue, really.
Yeah.
They need to try curling up in a little ball with their little tail tucked in. That's what they need to try. Everyone should learn that move. That's a good one.
Yeah, they need to practice their poses.
Yeah, they need to get a modeling coach out there that's like, no, okay, what you really want to do is you want to, hold your arm like this and get your little tail tucked in, and they need someone out there teaching them how to look good for the shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Holly, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for teaching us about Hazel Dormouse and your local wildlife. For people who want to go see the amazing pictures that we talked about today and see more of your work, where can people go next?
Basically everywhere. So if you just, my name on nearly everything is Nature with Holly. So mainly on Instagram, but I also have a little YouTube channel where you can watch some of my adventures in wildlife photography as well.
Awesome. And I will have links to everything in the episode description, so anybody listening can just scroll down and click through and see all of your work. Holly, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a delight.
It's been so lovely to be here, and I'm so thankful that you gave me this opportunity to talk about the Hazel Dormouse, because they're just so cute and I love doing it. But yeah, thank you so much.
We will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening. I hope that a charming little Hazel Dormouse has nestled in for a nice little nap in your heart. If you liked what you heard today, I hope you leave behind some kind words for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Links to everything will be in the episode description. You can also send me an email at ellen@justthezooofus.com if you have a cool animal you'd like to hear us talk about on their show. We would like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network alongside their other amazing shows like the ones that you heard promos for here today. You can go check those out, learn more about the network, and how you can be a part of supporting our show and get access to our exclusive members-only bonus content over at MaximumFun.org. Finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music. That's all for today. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Maximum Fun, a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.